What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Fandom Geek Culture Podcast. I am Chipmunk, and this is Phantaki. We
What's up?
check us out on our own individual channels if you like. Thank y'all for hopping onto our video. If you would like to hear us and not watch the videos, you can hear us on Spotify. We do have our podcast and everything on Spotify as well. But again, thank y'all so much for jumping on, hopping on, and checking out this video. This video is going to be about the racial harassment that Black cosplayers have gotten a lot of. Yeah, the one particular one that happened recently was Ash or Squid Kid 1111 or 1111. She recently had passed away. She lived in Los Angeles, well, went to school in Los Angeles. She was 19, but she been doing cosplay for over 7 years, or about 7 years. Um, and yeah, she loved just cosplaying. She had a good, nice fan base when it came to her cosplays and everything. And she recently sub-deleted herself, trying to navigate for YouTube and everything, but self-deleted herself, which is very, very tragic, and should never happen for anyone, but especially when it comes to harassment and bullying due to them wanting to do something they love, and it's crazy. But before we get into talks of most things in the discussion of harassment in with people in cosplays, Phantaki, have you heard or have you experienced anything when it comes to harassment and stuff regarding people who cosplay?
But the main thing I've noticed when it comes to a lot of cosplay and like just issues, I guess, when is people in and out of the community will complain if someone is cosplaying like a character that is like of not their like skin tone and the other way around. And I don't think the hate should be around there. Like people like should be able to like honor the character, put it like honor the character, or just like just pay some tribute to a character and be able to dress like them, whether or not you're allowed to full on look like that character or not. Like it doesn't really matter, but some people take it to an extreme level of where it comes into bullying and everything, and also like cyberbullying.
hmm Most definitely, and this is the topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a good while, especially when we did our "Geek Culture Hates Black Women" topic. If you haven't checked that out, please do check that out. Um, Cosplay was one of the ones that I kind of eased into, but didn't really talk heavily on. And cosplayers have been getting harassed for years for just wanting to portray characters that they love and enjoy. And I never could understand it. But that's part of the reason why I, like years and years ago, didn't feel comfortable cosplaying as certain characters because I know of the harassment and I've experienced it and seen it. Um, and then you're still experiencing it today in today's time. And I was recently just defending a girl on Instagram because she was being attacked racially because people were saying, "Oh, you're the black version of this character," or "Oh, you don't match the skin of the character is not black." I was saying to one dude because he was defending the people who was harassing her. It was like, "Well, the character is pale skinned." I was like, "Well, if you're gonna nitpick, a lot of people who cosplay as this character don't have the same nose as this character. They don't have the
Oh
same
yeah.
mouth type. They don't have the same eyebrows. They don't have the same facial structure. So it's like if we're gonna nitpick on skin color, you got to nitpick on everything. Nitpick on blemishes, everything that the character has, and
Yep.
you have or you don't have. If we're gonna nitpick on something, and I was like, it's stupid to just do that when this is all just for fun and enjoyment, and because we love something as much as anime, especially since we are everyone who's into like cosplay spaces, whether it was DC comic book stuff or anime and everything. We all been bullied before because of what we liked, because we were seen as outcasts, and for people to then use those same things that hurt us as a community because we all were the outcasts is crazy to me. Because now you're using the same thing that people are doing to make fun of you for liking these type of characters, like in video games, like in all. Because that's what used to happen way years and years ago. Now you're using the same thing to attack other people that's in the same community. Makes no sense to me. How do
Yep.
you feel about that when it comes to people in geek culture who's also been bullied for some reason doing the same thing?
I think if when it comes to like a certain like fandom or a geekdom or just just a group of people who love a certain thing, I feel like why can't you all just enjoy the thing and enjoy that other people around you are fans of the same thing that you are?
Hmm.
But a lot of people will just nitpick, especially if they're like considering themselves like true like hardcore fans. Like they'll try to like do some nitpicks, like, and there's some like there's a lot of toxic like fans out there who are like things have to be like on the spot like how it is. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Especially when it comes to the difference between like when it comes to like stuff like that, like something that's drawn, to something that is more 3D like. You see like when it comes to, like especially like clothing also, you have like clothing that is first of all, you have like 2D clothing and then you have someone who makes it a realistic version of that in real life. And of course there's going to be more detail to it. And especially when it comes to like just other parts of the cosplays. But the main thing like people are like one of the big things they want to look at is, if it's like skin color or one another thing. It's not just always that it's like weight. If you match like the look and weight or height, unnecessary toxicity within these communities, and that's just it feels like sometimes you can't enjoy being a part of these groups or these in communities or trying to enjoy the fandom or project you're a part of. Makes it hard to be a fan sometimes.
Most definitely, and this it's ridiculous because even if you go to conventions and stuff, you will see people go off the wall with different cosplays that don't even match the character at all. I've seen guys dress up as like Sailor
You have,
Moon with
you
long
have the gender
beards.
bend.
Hmm.
You have those type of cosplays.
Oh yeah, and yeah, people doing like either pregnant versions of this character or fat versions of this character. Uh,
Those ones
and
are interesting, I will say sometimes. But it makes sense if you're like you're actual like if you're pregnant in real life, then like it makes sense, like
yeah.
whatever. But if you're like just a person who's not pregnant, and you're just like
Mm.
trying to make the cosplay to be pregnant. Not gonna judge, but I do for that instance.
But it's just on the character itself being that way, But it's not necessarily because the person is who they are. And I never had an issue with that when it comes to white people, as far as just cosplaying as
Yeah.
certain characters and stuff. So I've seen a white person dressed up as Black Panther. He cosplayed
Yep.
as Black Panther, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." He had a nice suit. It was interesting, fun. So it's like I never had an issue with it, but it always seems like people just nitpick on race way harder than anything else, and that's one of the questions I have for y'all as an audience, especially those who are plus size. Do y'all have any experiences with people harassing you and stuff because you're bigger and the character doesn't, isn't plus sized, or if you're cosplaying someone who is very, very muscular, you're not as muscular as that person, or if like other just weird things, the gender bending stuff like that. Do y'all get harassed for that same type of deal? I want to see exactly if y'all also get those experiences. So if y'all have your own stories, let us know in the comments below y'all stories of being harassed, or no matter what race you are. You know, if y'all being harassed for those type of things, because it's definitely horrible that we have to go through this and we have to talk about this and we have to, you know, experience this, and it's horrible in especially in the black community because I see it a lot, and that's why I love DreamCon because DreamCon is there to make people feel more comfortable who didn't get any love and stuff when it comes to just the fandom of different stuff, anime, gaming, whatever. That's why DreamCon was made because of that. We didn't feel welcome in the space, you know. And I had fun at DreamCon. It was definitely fun.
Yeah.
You've seen several different type of people at DreamCon. It's not just like a black convention. It's a lot of black people that's there. But it's not just a black convention. You know, yeah, I've seen a lot of different people there at DreamCon. Whether it was like white people, Hispanic people, Asian people. It's always just a full of just different people, not just majority just black people. It is majority black, but not just black people that's there. But we had fun. It was enjoyable. You know, it's nice to see people who are in the space and how artists and cosplayers get to showcase and love what they care about. It's always nice to see.
All right. And then another little thing I just kind of like want to ask you what your thoughts on, just to add on to the cosplayer type of like criticism on like how people look and how they do the thing. What are your thoughts when it comes to like characters that are getting adapted from like manga, cartoons, or like video games into like live action format? One of the big examples that I'm hearing a lot of criticism when it comes to the look of the character is when it comes to live action Legend of Zelda movie, both to Link and the person playing Zelda, how they don't both look exactly like the characters.
I didn't see any of the stuff for Zelda, so I can't really say on the Zelda front. But when it comes to a lot of the other stuff, I it never bothers me exactly of them choosing certain people for certain roles, um, due to adaptations of different projects, like um, Dragon Ball, for instance. I was like, as long as they had did the movie good, I wouldn't have mind, but the movie sucked.
Yeah,
The movie was just bad. But those are white people playing, Asian characters. You had Death Note, the American version, not the Japanese version, but the American version, where you had people, they were a black guy and a white guy playing these characters.
yeah,
So it's like it never bothered me that much to just be like, hey, the thing that bothered me is just their depiction of the characters. If they're able to play the characters well, if they're able to make me feel for the characters, um, like recently with Wicked, uh, the first, you know, people who played, Elphaba was a white person and stuff when it came to the plays and stuff. But then with the movie, yeah, Cynthia Erivo, who's black, playing the character. And even though people had some things to say about it, as long as she portrayed the character, I didn't mind. I was like
right.
the character, even though I didn't know the play that well, but the character was, I think, portrayed so well by Cynthia. So it doesn't bother me as long as you play and show love to the character and respect to the project. That is what matters to me.
Right. And I'll say, because even within like the acting realm, you get people who pretty much, even online, you have people online just typing on the keyboard, just rage baiting pretty much in a way. Just just in a way, it's like cyberbullying, and they're almost bullying the actors also, I notice, in a way of like depictions, especially when it came to like Cynthia Erivo for like Wicked. It's previously, before these movie adaptations, always been a white person as in like the role of the Wicked Witch in no matter what type of format of like the Wizard of Oz story. and you have people complaining that a black person is now playing the role, even though technically the character is green.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie, I will say, Wicked, it goes in a good way of depicting, that type of hate in a way. It's like, well, I'm green, like, what do you want?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they go into like that discrimination a bit in the films, and it's just like even in real life, you have people discriminating like roles like that to people just for them portraying those roles, and it kind of feels like that circles back to the cosplayer here, Ash.
Yep. Because people, for some reason, because I think it was like the elf thing on one of the, and it's like one of the things on Instagram of one of the cosplayers I was talking about. They go, "Oh, elves is not black," because she was cosplaying as an elf, and you go, "What? Why? Why do you get to
Right.
pick and choose the elves? What color and race elves are? Makes no sense.
Does
It's a
not make sense,
fantasy.
especially when it's like fantasy creatures.
Yeah.
It's like they're not just one skin. Like unless you're trying to pick just white, it's like it's so weird because like even like when it comes to like fantasy characters, like they're not humans.
Mm, at all. So you can't. It's like I feel like people want to nitpick and really just be like, "Oh, you can only do this and this and this because of that." When it comes to a fantasy, and fantasy is just that. It's a fantasy. You know, it's in if the author or the artist, don't mind how their project is being portrayed because of like looks and stuff. But why does it matter to y'all? And why does it matter to all these people when the person who created it don't mind or they're pushing for certain people to play certain characters? With Marvel, they push for Samuel Jackson to play the character in Marvel. Uh, I forgot his name for some reason.
Nick Fury.
Yeah, Nick Fury. When Nick Fury was white at first, so it's like they get to choose that because they want that. They want that character to be a certain way. They want that a person to play a certain character because that's how they feel the character probably would need. It's just this person to portray that character. So I don't understand why it's such a big hate all the time, but it's crazy to me. But any final words regarding this topic that you want to speak about?
Try like supporting like the people in your communities of like these groups and like the fandoms that you're a part of and just the geekdoms and everything. Like
Oh yeah.
you all enjoy the same thing, so like why make fun of each other? Like try to find things that you like in common and everything and just go off of that. Like it's way better to do that than just try to like just just being a troll pretty much. Like
Mhm.
don't stop being a troll and just actually start enjoying some stuff.
Yeah, that's our main topic for this short mini pod. But yeah, just like Phantaki said, support each other. You don't even know if you become like really good friends with some of these people or not if you just because y'all love the same thing. So just try to support each other instead of trying to tear each other down. And rest in peace to Ashley. Her life was just cut real short for stupid stuff.
Very too short, like 19, 20 years old. Like she had a whole bunch more, just a whole bunch more cosplay to bring out and everything.
Mhm. Just show more respect for each other, show more love to each other, compliment each other more often than we do tear each other down. Yeah, I agree with that. But yes, again, check us out on our own channels. That is the Chipmunk 170 and Fantaki. And check us out on Spotify and our other socials and other media stuff that we do have. Please do check us out. Again, thank y'all for seeing this video, checking us out. Again, comment, let us know how y'all feel about this and other topics and stuff we do talk about. Check out our other videos and things we do have as well. And yeah, y'all take care of each other. Stay safe.
Of course. And tune into our next upcoming future episodes, everybody.
Bye.